Japan. A nation of 125 million people, stretched across a chain of nearly 7,000 islands, shaped by volcanoes, oceans, and centuries of craftsmanship. A place where precision, ritual, innovation, and nature coexist with seamless beauty. Few countries command the world's imagination like Japan, and few offer such a powerful contrast of ancient identity and futuristic ambition. Japan sits directly on the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the planet's most active geological zones. This is the birthplace of its mountains, its hot springs, its dramatic coastlines. And of course, its most iconic landmark, Mount Fuji, rising 3,776 meters above sea level. This landscape has shaped the Japanese spirit for thousands of years, resilient, orderly, and deeply connected to nature. But beyond geography lies culture, a culture so refined, it has influenced the world for centuries. Here, tradition isn't preserved in museums. It lives in everyday life. The bow of a greeting, the quiet ritual of tea, the brushy strokes of calligraphy, the discipline of martial arts, the peaceful shrines of Shinto and Buddhism, and the seasonal celebrations that mark time with elegance. And no season defines Japan more beautifully than spring, when more than 1 million cherry trees bloom across the country. For 2 weeks each year, Japan becomes a pink-hued dream, petals floating like snow over temples, rivers, and modern city streets. This phenomenon, sakura, draws millions of visitors from all over the world, making it one of the greatest seasonal attractions on Earth. But Japan's identity doesn't end with nature and culture. It is a global economic and technological powerhouse, consistently ranked among the top economies worldwide. A leader in robotics, transportation, electronics, animation, and automotive engineering. This is the birthplace of Shinkansen bullet trains, traveling at speeds over 300 kilometers per hour and serving more than 400,000 passengers every day with near-perfect punctuality. Japan's cities are megastructures of energy and innovation. Tokyo, one of the world's most populated urban areas. A neon skyline of 13 million residents in the city and over 37 million across the wider region. Osaka, a commercial giant known for food and nightlife. Kyoto, the cultural soul of the country with over 1,600 temples. Politically, Japan stands as one of the most stable democracies in Asia, with a constitutional monarchy respected globally for diplomacy, peacekeeping, and international influence. Its stability is a major pillar behind its economic success and its reputation as one of the safest countries on Earth, where crime rates remain among the lowest globally. And then there is the food, a world treasure of its own. Sushi, tempura, ramen, udon, soba, yakiniku, wagyu beef, matcha, mochi. Japan has more Michelin star restaurants than any country on the planet, making it a global culinary capital. Each region offers its own signature dishes, from Hokkaido's rich seafood to Osaka's street food culture, to Fukuoka's tonkotsu ramen. With its blend of natural wonders, cultural depth, and technological marvels, Japan remains a bucket list country for millions. And that is the journey you're about to experience in this video. A tour through the finest destinations Japan has to offer. Its mountains, cities, temples, islands, and hidden treasures. This is Japan, a global powerhouse, a cultural titan, a technological innovator, and a breathtaking world of discovery, where every street has a story, every landscape a legend, and every season a new masterpiece. Welcome to Japan. Tokyo, an ocean of steel and glass, merges with the heavens. A living, breathing metropolis pulsing with 37 million souls. At its heart, Shibuya throbs like a human generator. This legendary intersection channels thousands of people through its crosswalks every 120 seconds, a perfectly choreographed urban ballet that never stops. When dawn breaks, Toyosu Fish Market roars to life. Tuna are dissected with surgical precision, following techniques inherited from centuries of masters, while sea-fresh aromas mingle with steam rising from freshly prepared rice, escaping restaurant kitchens. Rising defiantly among the towers, Sensoji Temple stands as a defiant reminder of what came before. Incense smoke spirals skyward while the ancient bell tolls, marking time as it has for generations. Come nightfall, Tokyo morphs into a bioluminescent creature. Akihabara's electronics district blazes with neon, illuminating temples of technology and gaming. Below the Rainbow Bridge, city lights shimmer across the bay's surface, creating an artificial galaxy reflected in water. 634 meters above the city, Tokyo Skytree pierces the night and transforms the world below into the most spectacular light show on Earth. From the Tembo Galleria, Tokyo sprawls in every direction, 14 million souls generating a galaxy of light that stretches beyond the horizon. This isn't just a city, this is a living organism made of neon and ambition. Kyoto. Time bends differently here, in a city sheltering roughly 1,600 temples. At Ryonji's Zen Garden, 15 stones emerge from an ocean of meticulously raked gravel. Each day, monks trace careful patterns into the stones, drawing waves that will remain pristine and untouched. At Kinkakuji, the Golden Temple, sunrise transforms the pond into liquid mirror, with koi fish weaving through perfect reflections. The pavilion rises through 3 distinct floors, each representing a different architectural philosophy, chronicling the evolution of Japanese building arts. At Fushimi Inari's temple complex, over 10,000 torii gates donated across centuries by merchants praying for prosperity. Each gate was an offering to Inari, god of rice and fortune, and together they form corridors that stretch for 4 kilometers up the sacred mountain. Walking through them is hypnotic. The gates stand so close that the spaces between create a strobe effect. Light, shadow, and the vermilion color chosen to ward off evil spirits seems to pulse with supernatural energy. At Kyoto's Hiroshima bamboo grove, thousands of bamboo stalks rise toward the sky, creating a forest that exists somewhere between Earth and dream. Walking through these corridors is unlike any experience on the planet. The stalks tower so dense they block out the sun, creating twilight even at noon. Light filters through in scattered beams, illuminating dust particles that float like spirits. But it's the sound that truly enchants. Wind moves through bamboo in a way it moves through nothing else. A hollow, resonant music that the Japanese government designated one of the 100 soundscapes of Japan. Ancient philosophers believed bamboo groves were gateways to other worlds, and standing here, surrounded by the creaking and whispering stalks, you understand why. This grove has been venerated for over 1,000 years. Buddhist monks established temples here, believing bamboo's hollow nature symbolized the emptiness from which enlightenment springs. The path stretches 500 meters, though time loses meaning here. Early morning offers the grove at its most mystical, when mist clings to the ground and you might walk alone, as if you've slipped through a crack in time into an ancient Japan. Hiroshima. The Ota River cuts through the city center, branching into 7 arteries that cradle Hiroshima's urban heart. The Genbaku Dome reaches toward the sky, a frozen witness to August 6, 1945, its walls forever preserving that world-altering instant. In Peace Park, the Peace Flame has burned continuously since 1964, carrying a solemn vow. It will not be extinguished until every nuclear weapon vanishes from Earth. Thousands of paper cranes adorn the Sadako Memorial, where children worldwide deliver their origami creations as symbols of hope reborn, while the Peace Bell's resonance carries its message far beyond the park's borders. Modern Hiroshima's streets pulse with vitality, filled with restaurants where chefs master okonomiyaki in the Hiroshima style, layering ingredients on sizzling griddles. Each dish telling the story of a city that refused to surrender to its past. Southwest from Tokyo's electric sprawl, Japan has created itself an engineering masterpiece, the Kawazu Nanadaru Loop Bridge, a highway that spirals in a perfect circle, a concrete ribbon winding 360 degrees through mountain terrain. This isn't just infrastructure, it's sculpture. The Japanese, faced with steep geography that would defeat conventional roads, simply built upward in graceful spirals, creating highways that look designed by artists rather than engineers. This circular bridge on the Izu Peninsula exemplifies Japan's approach to landscape. Don't fight nature, dance with it. The highway curves through forested mountains where hot springs steam in valleys below, where the Pacific crashes against rugged coastline, where small fishing villages cling to coves unchanged for centuries. We're entering the volcanic heartland now, leaving behind the world of circuits and screens for a realm ruled by older, fiercer forces. The highway delivers us to Hakone, where Lake Ashi mirrors the sky with such clarity that heaven and earth become indistinguishable. This lake formed 3,000 years ago when a volcanic eruption dammed a river, creating a body of water that would become one of Japan's most iconic scenes. On perfect days, Mount Fuji reflects in these waters. But the true revelation awaits above. The Hakone Ropeway, 4 kilometers of cable car suspended over active volcanic fury, carries us across Owakudani, the Great Boiling Valley. Below, the earth has torn open. Sulfurous gases vent from countless fumaroles, staining the ground yellow and white. Steam rises in thick columns from a landscape that seems imported from another planet. The smell of rotten eggs permeates everything. This is the raw power that built these islands, the volcanic force that continues shaping Japan even now. The same forces that create these hellish valleys also feed the hot springs where emperors bathe, create the fertile soil that feeds millions, shape the mountains worshipped as deities. Destruction and creation are not opposites here. They're partners in an endless dance. Descending from the ropeway, we navigate one of Japan's most dramatic drives, the Serpentine Mountain Road through Fuji Hakone Izu National Park. This isn't a highway, it's a conversation with the landscape. The road curves, switchbacks, climbs, and plunges through terrain where 5 lakes nestle among forested peaks. Each turn reveals new vistas, valleys shrouded in mist, forests blazing with autumn color, and always, when the clouds permit, the eternal presence of Fuji dominating the skyline. These roads were built not for speed but for journey, designed when getting somewhere mattered less than experiencing the passage. Motorcyclists and driving enthusiasts pilgrimage here for roads that demand skill and reward attention, where every curve frames a view that could be a painting. This is Japan stripped of neon, just mountains, forests, and roads that flow like rivers through ancient stone. And suddenly we stand before it. Fujisan, the soul of Japan made visible. Rising 3,776 meters, this perfectly symmetrical volcano has captivated humanity for over 1,000 years. Hokusai painted it 36 times and felt he'd barely begun. Pilgrims have climbed its sides for centuries, seeking enlightenment in the thin air of its summit. It's more than a mountain. It's a living deity, worshipped, feared, and loved in equal measure. Fuji last erupted in 1707, covering Tokyo, 100 kilometers away, in ash. It sleeps now but doesn't dream peacefully. Geologists classify it as active, a giant that could wake at any moment. Perhaps this danger deepens its sacred status. Lake Kawaguchi mirrors it so perfectly that photographers wait hours for windless moments when 2 Fujis exist simultaneously. In spring, cherry blossoms frame the snow-capped peak. In autumn, maple forests blaze crimson at its base. Fuji changes with every season, every hour, yet remains eternal, the one constant in a nation racing toward tomorrow. From Fuji, we journey to Nara, ancient capital where over 1,200 deer roam freely, bowing to visitors like courtiers from a forgotten empire. But these are no ordinary deer. They're sacred messengers of the gods, protected for 1,300 years by imperial decree. Legend says the deity Takemikazuchi arrived riding a white deer, and from that moment, Nara's deer became divine. They've adapted to human presence with remarkable intelligence, learning to bow for the shikasenbei crackers sold throughout the park. Yet don't mistake their apparent docility for tameness. These are wild animals with personalities, hierarchies, and strategies. Miyajima, a 45-minute ferry ride from Hiroshima's memorial, brings you to Miyajima. Shrine Island, an island rising from the Seto Inland Sea like a portal between eras. The Great Torii Gate of Itsukushima Shrine stands sentinel over the waves, creating a threshold between mortal and divine realms. The vermilion Torii Gate appears to float upon the water, marking the threshold between mortal and divine. The island itself was worshipped as a deity, so sacred that for centuries, commoners couldn't set foot on its soil. Women couldn't give birth here. The dying were removed before drawing their final breath. To allow access while preserving sanctity, Itsukushima Shrine was built over water. During high tide, the entire complex appears to float, buildings reflected perfectly in the mirror-like sea. The Great Torii stands 16 meters tall, weighing 60 tons, yet it's not anchored. It stands by its own weight, the massive pillars buried deep in the seabed. It has survived over a century of tides, typhoons, and earthquakes through balance alone, a perfect metaphor for Japan itself. Shirakawago, nestled among central Japan's mountains, sits one of the nation's most enchanting villages. The Gasho Zukuri houses reach toward heaven with roofs resembling hands pressed in prayer, constructed entirely without nails through techniques inherited across generations. Winter buries everything under snow reaching 3 meters deep, while villagers retreat to upper floors to process silk from silkworms, continuing centuries-old traditions. Spring transforms the landscape into cascading terraced fields where rice cultivates following ancestral wisdom, while autumn bathes everything in red and gold. Here, residents maintain a cooperation system called Yui, where the entire community unites to repair thatched roofs and preserve this living heritage that stands firm against time's erosion. High in Nagano's mountains, where winter temperatures plunge to 10 degrees, we witness one of nature's most surreal spectacles: Japanese macaques bathing in volcanic hot springs. Welcome to Jigokudani, Hell Valley, where these snow monkeys have discovered the secret to surviving brutal winters. They emerge from forests through deep snow and lower themselves into steaming pools with expressions that can only be described as blissful. Steam rising from their soaked fur, ice forming on their heads. These monkeys live farther north than any other non-human primate species on Earth. Their thick fur helps, but the hot springs make winter comfortable rather than merely survivable. The behavior spread through the troops starting in the 1960s and is now passed down generationally. Young monkeys learn by watching their mothers that when snow falls and wind bites, the pools offer salvation. Dominant females claim the warmest spots while younger monkeys occupy the cooler periphery. But there's no aggression, as if they've collectively decided survival requires cooperation. What makes this remarkable is that the monkeys don't need the hot springs to survive. They use them because they've learned it's more comfortable, making them perhaps the only animals besides humans to bathe for pleasure rather than necessity. South to Yakushima, an island off Kyushu's coast where we enter a forest so ancient, so primal, that walking through it feels like stepping into Earth's memory. Yakushima receives over 10 meters of rain annually. The island has a saying, "It rains 35 days a month." This constant moisture creates ideal conditions for moss, and here over 600 species grow on everything, on tree trunks, on fallen logs, on rocks, even on moss itself. But the true monarchs are the yakusugi, ancient cedars standing for thousands of years, their massive trunks twisted and hollow, yet still living. The oldest is Jomonsugi, estimated between 2,000 and 7,200 years old. These trees produce exceptionally high resin content, making the wood incredibly resistant to rot. Even after death, fallen trees take centuries to decompose, becoming nurse logs hosting entire ecosystems. Hayao Miyazaki visited Yakushima and found inspiration for Princess Mononoke. The spirit forest inhabited by gods is directly modeled on these moss forests. There's something deeply humbling about standing beside a tree that was ancient when pyramids were new, a silent witness to the brief, bright flame of human history. As we conclude this visual odyssey through Japan, we've journeyed from its most remote territories to its most celebrated landmarks. Discovering not merely temples and vistas, but the captivating details that render every corner of this nation genuinely extraordinary. This is Japan, timeless yet ever-changing, gentle yet powerful. Our journey ends here, but its story continues, in blossoms, in stone, in steam, in the spaces where past and future meet. Thank you for watching.